going on, Islander fans? Welcome to another episode here on Isles Talk, and I finally get the man, the myth, the legend back here on the show.
In his own
Welcome
mind.
back.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
How you been, old man?
I've been good.
Good.
Busy,
Yeah, I bet it.
But,
Listen, we're 5 games in. We've got a couple of Islander fans, or maybe a lot of Islander fans, ready to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. Some are calling for loose firing. Other people are saying, we got to wait 15, 20 games to see where we're at. I'm literally in the middle here on this one. Give me your thoughts of like the last 3 games. Lo and behold, Devils in Colorado, the Islanders scored the most goals, and against Arizona, Buffalo, they're the least. So give me your thoughts on the last 3 games.
well, you're probably gonna put up. You're probably gonna score some goals against Colorado and New Jersey because of the type of game that they play. They play a little wide open, and that's not our game. And once you fall behind against a team like that, especially against the Devils, you can't put that team on the power play. You just can't do it. I mean, they rip you apart. They move that puck. That team's scary. That team scares me. But it's a good measuring stick playing against those teams because now you see where you are defensively. And they showed us that unless you're playing your top game on defense, you're not gonna beat teams like that. I mean, even in our own end. I mean, we talked about this, and we talked about it last season too. Since Trotz left, they now the system Trotz incorporated was take care of your own end, and you don't break out until you have total control of the puck. Okay.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. Last season, the Islanders started as soon as somebody grabbed the puck, the forwards were gone, out of the zone. Okay. And then we would see the puck turned over in the neutral zone and then an odd man rush coming back the other way. And we started giving up goals. You can't play a hybrid system. Not the way Trott's system is, because it falls apart.
Right.
You either have to open your game up and change your style on defense, or you have to go back to the way it was. I mean, that's their game. That's the way that team's built. They're not built to play, run and gun.
No, they're not designed for that. And to feed off that, Joe, with the penalties in New Jersey, Devils scored 4 power play goals, but for me, at least 2 of those power play goals don't happen if the Islanders actually cleared the puck out of their own zone correctly. And then, once they get up to the neutral zone, if they have to dump the puck in. But the Islanders had a very tough time getting the puck out of their own zone, which caused all of the players to spend more time on the ice. And then you get sloppy plays, and that resulted in, New Jersey getting a power play and then New Jersey scoring. We saw that. Well, they didn't show up in Buffalo, but we saw that with New Jersey. We saw them again with Colorado. But Colorado, they were more like dumb penalties. But how do you fix, and I know you just alluded to this, how do you fix the Islanders getting out of the neutral zone? Do they just have to flip the puck once they get possession, like flip it out? Or do they have to hold on to it? Do they have to be a little more patient with it?
Well, right now, watching them on defense, it's like the puck is a hot potato. They want to get rid of it. Now, I don't know if that's a confidence thing. I mean, the first 2 games, if that's our defense, then that's fantastic. But if you go by what you have the last 3 games, I mean, even Butchie alluded to it. He's like, you could have skated 5 or 6 more steps before you passed that puck and got it out of your zone.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to pass it from the top of the circles and having the puck intercepted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
he was right on that.
You got to be patient. You got to be patient with the puck. When in doubt, flip it out. But if you got that puck on your stick and nobody's within, 4 or 5 feet of you, Skate it out.
Yeah.
Skate it out. I mean, you watch teams like Carolina, their defense, even the Devils, Dougie Hamilton. He'll have a player all around him. He'll look to skate that puck out. He does not want to turn over that puck. So I think it's more of a confidence thing now. I think they got a little bruised losing these three games.
Yeah. I also agree with Butchie on this one. He had said the Islanders have got to be more physical. I didn't see any physicality in that 3-on-3 against the Devils. I mean, they literally let Jack Hughes go in on a 1-on-3. Dead smack in the middle. Pulock does nothing.
Right.
And he whips that shot. Gorgeous shot by Hughes, not taking anything away from him.
You got to step up on him.
You have to step. That's almost disrespectful. It's almost disrespectful to just not defend Jack Hughes.
Right.
And he whips it right past Sorokin.
I agree with you.
So
let a player like that try to step around like a Denny Potvin or a Scott Stevens. You know what I'm saying? You step up on him. If you step up on him, and he gets around you, at least you try to take him out. But you're not going to stick check a Jack. You're not going to stick check him. It's not going to happen. You got to hit him.
Yep, I agree. And Randy, I'm going to answer this question. That was a beautiful goal by Makar.
Ooh.
Makar is a very special player. He's going to do that not just to the Islanders. He's going to do that to everybody. If he's completely healed from his injuries from last year, Cal Makar is probably going to win this Norris Trophy again.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just a very special defenseman. Cal Makar is going to dominate this league for another solid 5 to 7 years. So that's a little different because Makar and Hughes are both special players, but on a 1-on-3, somebody's got to put something on Hughes.
You don't
even deflect it.
You don't let a player like that beat you in overtime.
Right.
You don't let that happen.
Right.
You don't let that happen.
So, all right. So let's move forward. Can we just agree that they didn't show up in Buffalo? The effort wasn't there. I didn't see anything in there from Buffalo.
Listen, I always believe when you play an emotional game the night before, I think Butchie called it the Ranger effect.
Yes.
Okay. The next night's a dud. Hey, look, they played hard against the Devils. They gave it their all. It was, a decent game. It was, not what we're used to. We're not used to giving up that many power play goals. But, I don't know. I mean, 5 games into the season, you're starting to shuffle your lines. That's a little scary. You know what I mean? That's a little scary. I mean, that shows, you don't have confidence in some players. If you're 5 games in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm happy for Holmstrom. He finally got that goal. He got that monkey off his back. But, does Anders Lee belong on that first line? For now, got to keep him there. I think you're out of options.
I think the same thing. And as a matter of fact, you brought up Holmstrom. I wanted to ask you, I mean, do you think he needs a little more seasoning in Bridgeport? I mean, or is this his time?
It's a little bit of both. I would send him down to Bridgeport with the assignment of every time you get the puck, shoot it. Get it out of your system. I don't know if it's a fear of making the right play. I don't know if it's a fear of shooting and you're just going to go miss wide right, whatever. Shoot the puck.
Right.
Amazing things will happen when he shoots the puck. He's got a really good wrister. He does. We saw it already. He's got to shoot the puck. And when you don't shoot the puck, you leave Barzell and Horvat out to dry because other teams know you're not going to shoot the puck.
Right.
And when Matt Barzell is holding on to the puck longer than he should, it's easier for defensemen to just pick up on Barzell's play, and then you're leaving Horvat out to dry. It's like Horvat's not even involved.
Right. Barzell's play is another thing we got to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Just to give me,
for me right now, I would send Holmstrom down just for the simple idea of getting him to shoot that puck. But he scored a goal on Peugeot with Clutterbuck. I'm hoping it's a confidence thing. If he can show me another 2 or 3 goals within the next couple of weeks, give me 1 goal a week from this kid. Okay, we're good. 1 goal every 3 games, every 4 games, I can live with that.
Right.
Show me you can shoot. If his shoot totals go up, I'm all for it. Keep him. But please shoot the puck.
Well, the team is 22nd in shooting in the league.
Yeah.
So they got to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
You got to shoot it.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. I was just looking at the scoring throughout the league. And
yes, please go ahead.
If you start off at the top with all the players in the league going by points, our first player comes in at 85th, and that's Dobson with 5 points. Also at 85th is Kyle Palmieri. Now
that's
you have
5 points in 5 games, folks.
Right,
that's 5 points in 5 games. That's an 82-point pace.
All right. You also have to realize something. You have 11 wings, Detroit Red Wings. In the top 85. In the top 85.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 6 Maple Leafs. You have 4 Devils. I mean, it's you got to shoot. You got to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
You look at these stats, okay? Now, you look at a team like the Red Wings, okay? You look at a team like the Devils. They shoot the puck. You score goals, you win games. Yeah. You have to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
And we don't shoot it enough. We look to make that perfect play. Just throw it at the net. See what happens. And that's another thing. I mean, you only have 2 or 3 players that go to the net. I mean, the other night watching the game against Colorado, you have 3 people behind the net, behind the Colorado goalie fighting for the puck. The puck comes out in front. There's nobody there. That's not the system that works for us.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at these numbers. We're 24th in goals. We're 20th in shots. We're 23rd in power play percentage. 22nd in shooting. Hey, we're first in faceoffs. 21st in goals against. 23rd shots on goal, and our penalty killing is 27th. Are these things that you recover from?
Because you're 5 games in, yes, you can.
Right.
You can, but you're 5 games in. That's the only thing you've got going for you. You're 5 games in, and you've played the Devils and you've played Colorado each time. And then you had to play Buffalo, who is still a very good team, that next day after you lost to the Devils. It's a tough for the regular fans who have seen this show before the season started. I did not like these first 10 games for the Islanders. I did not like the first 10 games. I wanted all of these rookies sent down during training camp as soon as possible. I wanted these lines set, some kind of chemistry, so that way we didn't have to run into these issues. But the Islanders are doing it now, and as of right now, they're surviving. They have to get these lines fixed. They got to find some kind of camaraderie, some kind of understanding between all of them, and get going now. The tough part of the first 10 games are over.
What's the Parisi effect not being on that third line?
Chemistry. I mean, poor JG Pajot, he's a -4.
Mm-hmm.
He's a -4. We can count on this hand how many lane mates he's had this year's already. Come on.
Yeah.
What do you expect him to do? Now, if you're going to put Parisi with Pajot at some point, okay, you're going to see more, you're going to see more of a chemistry. You're going to see more production. You're going to see exactly, Randy. You're going to see more hockey IQ. That's correct. That's right there. All of it. That's what you're going to get if Parisi comes back.
Yeah.
But for now, they have to make a decision on what they want to do with Holmstrom. They have to make a decision with what they're going to do with Hudson Fasching. They have to make a decision with Oliver Wahlstrom. Is Oliver Wahlstrom healthy enough or rehabilitated enough from his injury that he's going to get regular minutes? If he is, put him on Pajot's line, because you're not taking him off Matt Barzal. You're not taking off Kyle Palmer. You're not doing it.
Right.
Put him on the third line with Pajot. Let these kids grow together with Pajot. Got to do it.
Right. I mean, you could
Gotta
see, we had glimpses, a nice glimpse of what Horvat and Barzal could do together. Okay.
Yes, they're not there yet, but they're close.
Listen, I'm not comparing them in any way to Bossy and Trache, where it was Bossy, Trache, and whoever else you threw on that line with them. All right.
Right.
But it's happening to the Islanders in that way, but in a negative way. It's Horvat, Barzal, and who you're going to throw out there with them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like you need that third piece. And I'm sorry, I love Anders Lee. I love him, but he's not a top line forward anymore. Not in my eyes. He doesn't have. He's not that player to get the pressure off Barzal.
Right.
They still need that big winger to get the pressure off of him. And it's not Anders Lee. I'm sorry. He just doesn't, he doesn't have the speed. That line should be dominating. And they're not.
But to their credit, I think Barzal has 4 points in 5 games. Bo Horvat has 3 in 5. But those numbers have got to be better at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
They're getting there. They're gelling. They're close. And I think when they do finally gel, I think they're going to dominate everybody. Look out.
I think they're going to be dynamic. And I think they're going to be dynamic. Okay. And we agreed 3 or 4 years ago that we thought Barzal would be the next Guy Carbonneau. You know what I'm saying? The two-way center. All right, listen, the game's changed. They got a guy to get him the puck. That's what you want. But now you got to complete that line. And we could see right now that line is not going to be completed in-house. We do not have the player to go on that wing and say, hey, we have a top line. Okay? We have 3 number 2 lines. Okay? Our top 3 lines could be second lines on any team, but we need a top line. And the Islanders have to go out and get that player to complete that top line. I mean, that's the way I feel.
Right. Yeah. Real quick, Wahlstrom, why would Wahlstrom get waived? I know Thomas is not suggesting this, but he won't clear waivers. He won't clear waivers. Yeah. And they can blast Lee all he wants, but Lee's just learning that third line role. And I don't think it was so much the Islanders putting Anders Lee to get Bo Horvat and Matt Barzal going. I think it had more to do with the fact that Simon Holmstrom was not a scoring threat because he wasn't shooting. So when you don't shoot the puck, it's easier to play against 2 forwards than it is 3. So I think it had more to do with Simon Holmstrom, lack of shooting, than it is Anders Lee. That's where I'm going.
I got to ask you a question.
Sure, go for it.
Right now, if you had to pick a line, take the 4th line out of the top 3, lines 1, 2, and 3. What line would you say the team goes as this line goes. The second line, see, now I would say the third line, because you could see the dynamic on the third line is different without Parisi there.
No. Okay, with
I'm not
Parisi, I
talking
can
about. I'm not
understand where you're going with
talking.
that.
All right, let me reword that. I'm not talking about the Islanders winning or losing. I'm saying
Ah,
becoming a stable team, like the Islanders.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Line 3. That I would go with, because I was going to add to that. Um, Brock Nelson had nothing. Pierre Enval had nothing against Colorado. Why? Because Colorado's defensive focus, was on that second line.
yes,
You shut the second line down, no one else has been able to do anything. Now, to further your point, if the Islanders do come up with a third line, now we're talking differently here. Now you can basically roll 4 lines, and the Islanders are going to be very, very difficult to beat. But the Islanders need a third line, no matter who's there. They need it. They need it now. But I agree with that.
absolutely. Pajot's got to get moving.
I agree, but Pajot needs to have some steady line mates now. If it's like I said, if Oliver Wahlstrom, I love Oliver Wahlstrom on that power play too, by the way. I thought the second power play for the Islanders against Colorado, that had some chemistry going. If Oliver Wahlstrom is ready to play, ready to go, put him with Pajot. Give him some kind of consistency,
Right.
and they'll work out their kinks at some point. So, what else you got? Any other questions?
All right. Sorokin. Let's talk.
Oh.
Let's talk him for a second. Okay.
Okay.
Does he seem a little shaky to you at some points? I mean, I don't think we've seen the solid goaltending. Well, against the Devils, I mean, he was lights out. I mean, they did score, the power play goals, but I still think he has another level.
He does have another level. I agree with Randy. I think he's been fighting the puck a little bit.
I agree with
But
Randy.
Sorokin needs to see a lot of shots. I've said this before. There is somewhat of a Yarrow Halak to Ilya Sorokin, where Sorokin needs to see a lot of shots in order to get into the groove. He's made some spectacular saves, and then he's had a couple of brain farts. And he's even gone on to say a couple of those goals are on him. So the overall consistency of this Islander team is there, and that includes Sorokin. I don't think he's found his groove yet. He's great one-on-one. He's made some spectacular saves, but I don't think he's in a rhythm just yet. I think he's going to be at some point. Everything's going to click, and I think that's part of the system, Joe. It's, yes, he wants to see a lot of pucks. He loves seeing. He would rather get 60 shots on net than like 25, 30. We both know that. But it's those situations that he's getting put in that he's standing on his head to save this team. And the Islanders just cannot sustain that, especially when we're into game 5. So I think it's more of a situational part where, yes, he would like to see more shots, but probably more perimeter shots. A little more stable defense right now. Because let's be honest. Adam Pelech in 5 games, he's got 11 penalty minutes. You're not winning games when Adam Pelech is 2 minutes in the bench every game. Not happening.
Right. That night against the Devils, what do you have? 6 minutes in penalties against the Devils?
Something like that. But the Devils exposed Adam Pelech.
Yeah.
So, it's got to come all together. And I part of me agrees with Randy on this one. it does come down to a coach and a system and whatnot. So, we'll see. But this is a tough one. Now, having said that, let's move on here a little bit more on the positive side. The next 5 games, you're looking at games against the Senators, Columbus, Washington, and Carolina. Washington is away, and I believe Columbus is away.
All right. So you're playing 2 grinding teams and 2 scoring teams.
Yeah.
The Columbus and Carolina, I could see those games being 1-goal games.
Sure.
2-1, 3-2.
Sure.
Maybe 1-0. But against Washington and like Washington, I think they're beating the Devils 3-1 or whatever right
Nice.
now. Washington and the Senators. I mean,
Ottawa. Yeah.
They could put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
The Senators. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather play those dogfight games. I'd rather play those grinding games with this team because that's what they're built for. I mean,
Right.
you get a team that scores 2 or 3 goals on them. They're not built to come back and, win a game 5-4. I mean, the other night last night against Colorado, all right, yeah, they were putting the puck in the net. But look at the chances they were giving up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at the chances. I mean, you can't. But what do I see them doing? I would like them to get 6 out of 8 points, but I'll take 5 out of 8 points.
Okay.
That's
that'll
what-
still do. That's still
what I'll
doable.
take.
Yeah.
But I want to see.
Now-
I want to see consistency. I want to see
There we go.
the defense play consistent. Get the puck, hit the forwards, get the puck out. Take care of your own end. Okay, take care
Right.
of your own end. I don't care if you the team's cycling for 3 minutes in your end. Just don't give up the shot in the slot. Let them shoot.
Right.
Let them shoot from the outside of the circles. That's what I want to see. I want to see consistency, and I want to see the forwards to stop blowing their assignments
Yeah.
in our own end.
And
Okay.
that's better communication as well. That's a big one.
Butchie said the same thing. He goes, these players got to talk to each other. They got to talk
Yeah.
to each other. It's all chemistry. It's all, But, I would like to see 5 out of 8. That's what I'd like to see.
And that's doable. That's doable with the upcoming schedule. All right. So
Well, let me ask you a question. Go for it. Who do you have in net? Those 4 games. Does Sorokin do 3 out of the 4? Do you split it 2 and 2? Give him a little bit of a rest?
I would go Varlamov against Washington.
Right.
Varlamov has always had a good, and it's in Washington. Varlamov used to be the goaltender there. He's got
Right.
good numbers against Washington. I
Right.
would go Varlamov against Washington. Over the
Okay,
next
I agree
5
with
games, I would give Varlamov at least 1 game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I agree.
I
with
would
you.
honestly, I'd start playing a little more like Vegas. Utilize both goaltenders. If Varlamov gets hot, wonderful. Put him in another game. If Varlamov only gives up 1 goal against Washington, put him against Carolina. Although, let's rephrase that. If Sorokin's got a little beef with Carolina after what happened last year, you put Sorokin in with Carolina.
That might be your shutout.
There are emotional aspects
Yeah.
to the next couple of games here. You've got Columbus.
yeah.
Maybe you go Varlamov with Columbus and Washington, and then you go Sorokin with Ottawa and Carolina. You can do that. You can play all
Right.
that, all that stuff. You can get. Oh, they also have Detroit. They got to play. I'm sorry, it's the Senators. It's Columbus and then Detroit. That's a big one. Detroit's going to be that big one.
I would love to see
I-
Varlamov's numbers against Detroit
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
you're going to see him in net for Detroit.
I think you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But let's flip this. Let's flip this around a little bit. The Devils, the Avalanche, Stanley Cup favorites preseason. Some of them have the Devils going deep, whatever. The Islanders hung in there
Mm-hmm.
with both teams for 3 periods, if not longer. They
Right.
were shooting themselves in their own feet here. They were their own worst enemy. If
Yeah.
they clean up, they could make a challenge in any of these here, especially against the Devils. I had Devils fans talking to me after that game. They're like, look, we couldn't beat the Islanders in regulation.
Mm-hmm.
We beat you 3-on-3. They said, come playoff time, it's still going to be 5-on-5.
Right.
The advantage will go to the Islanders.
Right.
We can't. The Devils fans that I were talking to, they don't want to play the Islanders in the playoffs. They say, even if we beat you guys, we're not going to beat that next opponent because you're just going to wear us out. You did almost
Mhm.
everything right except those penalties killed you. They said,
Right.
you clean everything up, you're dangerous. We don't want to play you.
Right.
Is there a positive to coming close to beating the Devils and the Avalanche?
Well, if you get Horvat and Barzell to be those game breakers where you're in a dogfight, or let's say your team is not playing at 100%, and you could have Horvat and Barzell step up and you steal a game, you need your big players, and it seems to me in the playoffs we missed that. We missed the
Right.
big player scoring. The big we've had our unsung heroes, but we
Yes.
haven't had that guy where you say, hey, look, you know what I mean? He's got 8 goals already in the play. You know what I mean? We haven't had that guy, that go-to guy. Like
Sure.
Washington always had Ovechkin. You know what I mean? We didn't have that big play. Well, you know who our big player was in the playoffs? Josh Bailey.
Yeah, Josh Bailey.
He scored goals in the playoffs. He scored in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
let's bring it out.
You know,
Yeah.
but hey, look, this is it. I mean, players leave, they move on, whatever, and you got to bring players in. You got to have chemistry, and
Right.
I just feel that top line, and I've been saying it for the last couple of seasons. You need that player in there that's going to take the pressure off of Barzell.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. Players, he's predictable. Right or wrong?
Right.
All right. We've been saying that. You've actually been preaching to me. Barzell is too predictable with the puck.
Yep.
So these
And
are the
Colorado
things that
exposed him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Colorado exposed him.
Absolutely.
They have a playbook on Barzell, and that I'm hoping the other teams don't look at that playbook.
Listen, you just gave it away. Colorado shut down the second line. That was the line that scared them. They shut down the second line and they keyed on Barzell. And that was it. So, I mean,
And because there's no consistency of a third line.
There you go. The fourth line's not going to put the puck in the net for you. You're throwing them out there to tenderize the other team's top line, bang them up. You hopefully in a 7-game series, you wear them down. You know what I mean? They get tired. I mean, they did it against Pittsburgh. That year. They wore them down. I mean, but that top line still needs someone to make Barzell give him the room. So
Yeah.
Players know what he's going to do when he has the puck.
Right.
So
there we go. That's been the first 5 games in a nutshell, boys and girls. Some changes need to be made. I think Holmstrom still needs to shoot the puck. Well, look, let's put it this way. If Holmstrom just continues to shoot the puck, whether they go in or not, do you put Holmstrom back on the first line?
Well, let's look at it this way. We were just talking about him being seasoned and going back down to Bridgeport and telling him, puck touches your stick, shoot it.
Right.
I still don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the pace of the game right now. If he's not, I don't know. But if he starts putting the puck in the net, I don't know if you move him back to the top line.
Okay.
Because if you put him on, say, the third line, and he starts getting his goal every 4 or 5 games or whatever, now you have a third line that's producing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, look,
Yeah.
Lee, if Horvat and Barzell could get him the puck in front of the net and he could bang him in, hey, I'm happy with that. But I rather see them go out and get a player to complete that top line, because that top line's not complete. You can't have a revolving door on that top line.
Right.
That top line has to be set. And
All
I don't
right,
think it's Wallstrom. I don't think it's Wallstrom either.
Right.
So
Right.
no.
All right. How long do you think the Islanders will give these players to get it all together? Are we going to go the typical 15, 20 games?
No, I think you got to go a little. Let's put it this way. I don't want to go games. We talked about this. Let's go by month.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You said beginning of December. I'm going to say mid-December, and then you're going to have to go out and make a move. I mean, because this isn't the type of team where you're going to sell everybody off and say, all right, you know what, we're going to rebuild. No, you got the players there now.
Yeah, there's no rebuilding.
Right. You got to refit. You know what I mean? You got to go out and, get that winger.
Right. I'm gonna comment here with it's Pierre involved. Part of me wants to agree with that a little bit. I think he's got to put in a couple more points, a couple more goals, but that whole line is clicking right now.
Yeah, I don't touch that second line.
You're not going to touch that line. I agree. Pierre Engvall probably has to put a few more points up, but if I'm not mistaken, and I don't have it up right now, I believe Engvall has 2 points or 3 points in 5 games, something like that. It puts him on a 35, 40-point pace. That's him. That's Engvall. That's what we were envisioning him to be anyway. So, yes, he has not scored the goals, but Engvall's putting up the points because he's a part of that line. So I'm willing to give Engvall a little more time to see what we can do. Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with Jam here. Not just in the second. This happened during the 3-game stint anyway. A minute before the period's over, or a minute into the period, they're giving up goals. It's like a cardinal sin. You're not supposed to do that. Right. You are taught that you're not even taught that at the NHL. It's already ingrained. You're taught that even in roller hockey. You do not give up anything within that first minute, and the Islanders did that already.
Well, Devils are back in the game, 3-2. They just got 2 quick goals. They're scary. They're scary. That team is scary.
Yeah. Well, let's flip it real quick because we're almost done here. Losing to the Devils, losing to Colorado, there's a lot of lessons learned here for this team. But you're losing to 2 potential Stanley Cup contenders here.
No, they are
Stanley
Cup contenders.
They are Stanley Cup contenders. Is it as bad as we're making it out, or do we still need to see, is everything going to be rosy by like game 15 or, I'm agreeing with you. I think it's going to be December. I think they may have to make a move.
It's the mindset of everybody that loves the Islanders. Okay. You see these other teams get off to quick starts. Okay,
Yeah.
teams who already have 14 points already, whatever. I mean, everybody's rolling. Who's 7-0, and
Right.
we're not built like
We're
that.
not that. No, we're not built
no.
like that.
No, we're not built like that. We're built to get into the playoffs and then grind everybody down. Okay.
Sure.
And I still say it. Nobody's going to want to play the Islanders in the first round of the play. So listen, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but I'm just
Way
saying
ahead of
this.
ourselves.
There's still that team with the defense that we have, okay, with Barzell and Horvat and our second line, okay, and Sorokin in net. Sorokin is the type of goaltender that could steal you a series.
Yeah.
He could steal you a series, not a game. He could steal you a series. And listen, you turned me on to him 5 years ago. Whatever. Watched this kid in the KHL. Watch his games.
Yeah.
My groin used to kill me watching the saves he made. And then you look at the shots. 65 shots on net in a game. I'm like, holy cow! What are they doing? There's but being an Islander fan, I guess you always wait for the bottom to drop out.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? All right, we're 5 games in. Okay. A point a game. You know what I mean? All right. We're getting to that part where, all right, we're gonna have to string. Devils just tied it. We're gonna have to string together a couple of wins, because now everybody's gonna see the Rangers are in first place. They're 3 points ahead of us. Everybody's gonna start panicking. We're not a 110-point team. We're not that.
No.
We're not a 104-point team. We're a cussed team right now. We're at 95, 96. And again, we're probably going to be battling out with Buffalo. And who knows, maybe Ottawa for that last spot. I don't think it's going to be Pittsburgh and definitely not Washington. But, you're still going to have those teams that we're going to be fighting out for that last spot. I don't see us. I see us as a wild card team. Again, I don't see us as a third place or not even a second place team in our division. I don't see it.
I do have the Islanders finishing second, because I do think there's going to be a couple of teams here that are going to struggle that most people did not see struggling, aka the Capitals. But I didn't have the Capitals in the playoffs anyway. All right,
but you
so
got to
we're only
realize
5 games in.
You got to realize something. Carolina and the Devils are going to be there. Okay.
Yes.
Pittsburgh, they always, as long as you have Crosby and Malkin and Gunsel, whatever his name is.
Guentzel.
These guys, they know how to win.
Right.
You can't write off Pittsburgh. You can't write them off. I mean, they're not going to be what they were. But you can't write Pittsburgh off. I'm writing Washington off. I don't think they're doing anything. Philly can't take the grind, but I don't know. Listen, it's going to play out. We're only 5 games in.
Yeah.
Randy.
It's always Randy.
It's always Randy.
So listen, I'm definitely looking forward to the second half of the first 10 games here. Listen, folks, we didn't even talk about the Western Conference yet. We're not going to tonight. This is going to be a real short show. Next week, I am going to have fun. I may eliminate a couple of teams from NHL contention. Some of them are going to be no-brainers. It is possible to do it. It is possible to do it. The math is there. The math is there to do it.
I'm going to give you my cup winner right now.
Oh, cup winner right now.
I'm going to give you the cup winner right now. Vegas is Vegas.
No.
Vegas is going to win the cup.
No.
Watch.
Nope. They're doing too much winning.
Watch. They're going to win the cup.
I'll explain. No, that's fine.
They're going to win the cup, bro.
Okay.
I don't care about what they're doing now. It's what they're built to do in the playoffs. They're built to win.
Okay.
They're built to win.
I know. So was Boston last year.
No. Boston wasn't. No,
Oh,
Boston wasn't built to win the cup. They weren't built to win the cup. That team. Vegas is a different. Vegas is a different animal, and they're playing in a different. A different. I'll say it. They play a different style out west.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
play a style that doesn't wear you down.
No.
You put them in the metro. You put them on the East Coast. They don't do what they're doing.
Right.
You're too many grinding teams.
Yeah. To your point, usually by 10 games, it is possible to eliminate usually two teams coming out of the East, and lately 4 teams out of the West, even after 10 games. So there is some truth to what you are saying, Joe, with the West coming out, that level of competition.
All right. Anaheim and the
Yeah.
Sharks are out.
Anaheim, Sharks, possibly Seattle, possibly Edmonton, possibly the Flames.
I still think the Flames got
There's
something.
quite a few teams right there, folks, that you can eliminate out of the West. Because in all honesty, I did it last year.
No, you did. Absolutely. Yeah.
Every team I mentioned last year at Game 10, give me the Westfield.
No, we got to get like one of those Swami hats that Johnny Carson used to wear on.
That's fine. I just called you Karnak. Yes, you can't do that. No. I eliminated the Preds. Some of these were easy. Some of them were not. The Preds, the Coyotes, the Blues, the Canucks, the Ducks, and the Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I again, you saw the shows. I had Arizona as my dark horse. I still think Arizona's got a shot now. But we'll see what happens in another week and a half. But Seattle being out, no one saw that coming. The Flames being out, I don't think that happens. I didn't see that happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 teams out of the West next week.
You brought up Arizona. I like that hodgepodge of players that they have.
Yes.
The right mix of veterans with the kids, and
those kids are nasty.
They play with an edge.
Those kids are nasty.
That team plays with an edge. I mean, you come into New York, you lose 2 close games, right? You beat the Devils, and then you go to St. Louis and you destroy them.
Yeah. Give Arizona a little more time to see what they can do. They're going to be nasty. And out in the Eastern Conference right now, we're going to keep an eye on the Caps. I don't think they have much time left. But I am honestly looking at the Penguins. I'm looking at the Penguins, but again, I'm also looking at who's in 7th and who's in 8th right now. You're looking at Columbus and the Flyers. I don't think those 2 teams are going to be able to hold on to those spots. But Tampa right now is still holding on. Tampa's surviving. All they have to do is survive another month until Vasilevsky comes back. If he comes back, he's ready to go. Tampa's flying, and then look out for Florida. Florida's also holding on too. So it's going to be very, very difficult for the Pens to even the Pens have to go on like on a 5-game winning streak now.
Well, I agree with you with the Flyers and Columbus. They're not built right now to grind it out 82 games. I can't see them holding on either.
Oh, good point here from Thomas. I was going to bring this up before. Nedeljkovic on long-term injured reserve. That's their backup goaltender. Yep. Pittsburgh's in trouble. Pittsburgh's in deep trouble. There's not enough offense that could probably save them if Tristan Jarry's got to play the next 10 games in a row.
Remember I said the Devils were down 3-0? Well, they're up 4-3 now. They just scored 4 quick goals. I can't believe this. They're scary. They're a scary team, man.
They are scary.
Oh,
but again, there are Devils fans. There are Devils fans that don't want to play the Islanders in that first round.
No.
They don't want to do it. So,
all
right, we'll see what happens.
That team gets a named goalie.
Oh, yeah, no. I agree. Done.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. So,
Yeah.
all right. Any closing thoughts here, Joe? We're 50 minutes in. We're going to close up this show.
All right, let's sit tight. Let's see where we are by the 15, 20 game mark.
Okay.
And then we'll start making predictions of what we're going to do as far as trades, and let's ride it out.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think the Islanders are going to be the Capitals. I don't think they're going to be the Penguins at this point. I think the Islanders are hopefully, knock on wood, somewhere going to survive the first 10 games, and then we'll just go from there.
It's the
folks,
style we play. It's the type of game we play. That's that's it.
We're going to be 2 or 3 games over. We'll get a couple of wins, and then we'll go to 5 or 6 games over. And like you said, during the season, we'll grind our way up to the mid 90s. In the standings somewhere, maybe in the low 100s, depending on how other teams finish or collapse or whatnot. So we'll see what happens. Folks, you can follow us on Isles Talk on Twitter. Like and follow us on Facebook, and please, please, please hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Joe, where can most people find you on social media?
Twitter, my handle's right on the screen.
Right there.
Facebook. That's basically it for me.
Beautiful. And you can find me, guys, on Twitter at P_Kreischer. Gary will join us next week. I'm hoping we have a little more positive to talk about. Hopefully the system gets a little more structured, and we'll go from there. But guys, I want to thank you for coming on to the chat here. Randy, Jam, Thomas. We'll get more people. Facebook had a big problem getting live stream to work on Facebook. So that's why we weren't on Facebook today, but we'll get this video up on Facebook, in another day or two, once everything is official and whatnot. So thanks, Joe, for coming on.
Thanks
Still
for having
52
me.
minutes. This was pretty good.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have you back next week. And I think I'm going to have Rob Tobb is going to join us next week as well. So hopefully we'll have more good news to talk about. So thank you.
I just want to say one thing to Randy. Randy, I love you, Randy.
No, we're not doing
Even
that.
though you make
Good
fun
night.
of my head all the time, I love you.
Good night, folks.